So I'm here with another interview and I'm with a guest I'm really excited to talk to. He's probably one of the most exciting fighters in the Australian New Zealand region. He's the former eternal welterweight champion, now going to Hex to go fight for the interim welterweight championship. So thank you so much for joining me, the Crazy Horse, Kaleb Rideout.
No, pleasure to be here, mate.
So just talk to me about, just a probably chaotic, been about a year now, right? Like it's been a bit of an uphill battle, obviously, since the Luciano fight. But how are you dealing with things?
Yeah, good man, good. Obviously, the Luciano fight, I come out of an injury with. I ended up snapping my syndesmosis, and that was a 12-month recovery to get back into just even start training again. Um, you man got back into training, bloody kept going good. Then I've just had a few little niggling things of it. I was set to fight with Alden Bates in Eternal, and ended up having to pull because of it. But since then, man, I've been in proper rehab. Everything's been tip top, and yeah, now it's ready to go and ready to come back into Hex.
Yeah, so talk to me. Where did you get this offer with Hex? Was there like a big, do you know if like a lot of this came along because obviously now Alden's fighting for Eternal again? Was this before or after the fight with Lachlan, was talked about?
Mate, it just sort of just came out of the blue, really. I was just training, and then there's been a few fight offers towards me, like my coaches and my managers talking, and not real decent opponents. No offense to them, just like one or two fights as a pro, and it's not where I want. I want like a high level pro. And then, coaches were talking, and then all of a sudden they were like, "How about this, Kit Campbell for the interim hex belt?" And I went, "Oh, what a better fight to come back to!" And one of the two best bloody strikers in Australia.
Yeah, I talked to you in the DMs about that. Like you versus Kid is just like one of the most exciting fights you can make. Obviously, Kid he's fought the who's who on the regional
Mm.
scene. And yeah, just he reminds me a lot of Robbie Lawler, to be honest. He's like an Aussie Robbie Lawler fights very. He's just a brawler, but like,
Mm.
yeah, he's just a real fun fighter, and yeah, I think your styles are going to match up really well.
Oh, there's nothing better when someone similar style meets him in the middle of the cage. I as soon as I heard Kid Campbell, the first thing that come to my mind was dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a bloody mess, and I'm prepping for a bloody mess.
Yeah, I think most of Australia, when we seen that fighting outcome, we're all pretty fucking excited, man. Just not just this, not only because we get to see you come back, but yeah, just that Kit Campbell fight in general is just one of the best fights you can see.
Yeah, and as I was talking to me, my coaching staff and that, like, I don't want to come back into like someone that's only had a couple pro fights. I want to come back into the mix. I'm ready to come back into the mix, and I want a proper hard fight. And I think Kit Campbell is, as you said, he's a legend of the sport, and he's going to give me that hard fight, and I want the fans to see it. So it's going to be soon.
Yeah, awesome, man. How did you, like, what were your thoughts on his performance in his last fight against Valley? I think he looked really good in my opinion. That was a rematch as well, and he showed that, he's still adding wrinkles to his game as well to go and beat a guy who has already beat him in the past.
Yeah. Look, I think all of Kit's performances are good. Like I remember being a fresh pro, like one pro fight, and watching Kit Campbell fight in Hex, and I was like, man, thank God, because I was lightweight back then. Thank God I don't have to fight that guy. And then, sure enough, bloody funny how the world works. Here I am now. But yeah, look, all his performances are good. He's a well all round fighter. Like he'll stand with you. He'll clinch and get in those dog fights. He'll grapple. And ground and pound games. Like he is an incredible fighter. It's gonna be a really good matchup between us two. Um, I'm really looking to stand and just really slug it out for the fans. As I said, I want to. If you've looked in any of my interviews, I want a dogfight. I want to bleed in there. I want to put my heart on the line for myself and for fighting. And for the fans, really. So, and this is the fight that I believe that will do that.
Well, even against like Luciano, obviously Luciano was going to try and grapple you, but the moments that you had of like, the crazy horse, like when you were just swinging at him, throwing spinning elbows, you could tell you were just having so much fun out there. It's just, you can tell like you generally do enjoy this, which
Mm.
is, yeah, you don't
Yeah,
see that out of many fighters.
yeah, and that was with a snapped ankle too.
Yeah.
People forget that in that fight, like I done it really early, and Luciano knew that, and he just took advantage of it like any fighter would. And even when I was down and nearly out, I was still swinging for my last breath.
Yeah, after that, like, finding out about your like snapped fibula and all that stuff, it was like holy. Well, it was the fibula, right? I think you mentioned it
Uh,
was
it was me syndesmosis. It's the main
syndesmosis.
ligament holding your bloody foot to your ankle. So I couldn't stand and all that. I think I said it in a past interview before. I was surprised that Luciano never actually tried to finish me in the stand up game. Um, because that would have looked really good on his record instead of a submission. But yeah, it caught me by surprise that he kept fighting for the submission instead of trying to, keep me when I was down. So that's good for my part, I
Yeah, he showed a little bit of mercy at least.
guess.
Yeah, but no, you looked still, with the injury and everything, you still were fighting the whole time. Like you've shown that dog in you, like you say, it was still a
Mm,
dog fight even with the injury. I literally rewatched it about an hour ago, and
mm,
yeah, it was like, yeah, it was fucking crazy, man. Like
mm,
you guys are just tough as fuck, but I think you in general are just tough for a guy in a tough sport, just to
mm.
put it that way.
I try my best. I try my best to show up. So, but
Are
yeah,
you Are you planning on like maybe bulking up a little bit now? You're at welterweight. I know that you don't cut any weight, but did you feel like there was a big difference in strength because of Luciano's size?
not no, like not really. Like you look at all my past performances. I've always fought bigger guys. I've always been the smaller weight wise guys, and I've always managed to handle them. And I felt like I could have handled Luciano a bit better. It's just that everything comes from the legs. Everything comes from the legs, and I had 50% of that. So man, I've packed on probably maybe 1 to 2 extra kilos of that over the time, but not really. I still prefer turning up hydrated and all ready to go instead of depleted. I feel like that gives me the better edge, and people underestimate. Like I'm strong too. Like I've held Gisette, and Gisette's a big guy. I held Ben Johnson, and he's gone up a weight. Like you know, I'm pretty strong. People underestimate me. I'm because I'm a bit that smaller guy, but yeah. So,
Because you were a featherweight at one point, right?
oh, I didn't go to feather. I did a catch weight at 68, and I thought I was going to die. But but yeah, no, I was a lightweight for a long portion of my career. My whole amateur career, I was a lightweight, and I think my first pro fight I was a lightweight, and then I jumped into the super lightweight, which I feel like that's my best weight because that's like I'm cutting a bit, but unfortunately that's not in the UFC that weight class. So I've decided to risk it and go to the 77 kilos, and I still feel like I dominate being the smaller guy.
So so obviously, yeah, like you say, you feel strong, and I do agree with you too. Like about that. You're going in there, you're healthy, you're not going to be depleted like a lot of these guys. Like Ben Johnston against you, obviously, being such a big guy, you could tell like welterweight's just not his weight class. But with you being
No.
so much healthier and stuff like that, you were just, you were able to get him out of there.
Yeah, exactly, and like cutting weight, it does mess with your head a bit and all that. Like it's water out of your body, and he did cut a lot. I think I spoke to him after the fight. I think he told me he was cutting from 95, I think, down to 77, which is ridiculous, bro. Like that's intense, and I'm cutting from max 80 kilo.
Yeah, bro. Like just watching it is like it's crazy to see like a skinny guy like you, obviously tall
Mm.
skinny guy, just sleeping these bigger guys. Like it's like you say, and like you mentioned, Juicette. Obviously now Juicette's a UFC fighter, and I know you've probably been asked this a lot about your thoughts on a guy you beat being in the UFC. But just talk to me through like seeing that guy, go 2-0 now in the UFC, and you've got a win over him.
Mate, I wish him absolute the best. Like I'm so glad he's made it in the UFC. I'm not envious at all. Um, like he done it right. He bounced back from our loss and he did what he needed to do to get in there. It was unfortunate because I would have loved to try and get in there, but it was hard, because when he debuted in the UFC, I was lying on the lounge with the bloody cast on my ankle, going, oh,
Yeah,
it was a very hard pill to swallow. I was like, I beat that guy, like I beat him. This is where I need to. This is where I need to be. So I don't look at it as envy. I look at it as just more motivation. It's like, well, Giuseppe's in the UFC. I deserve to be in the UFC, and I'm going to show Australia that I deserve to be in the UFC.
yeah, definitely. And like to see him go in there, and his last performance as well was very impressive against Song Kenan. Like that was the guy that dropped Ian Gary. Now you see Ian Gary's like a top 10 welterweight. Like obviously it's a bit of MMA math there, but I think it does show your level that you pretty much dominated a guy like you said. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
That split decision was pretty fucking dumb. Like, let's just be honest. You
yeah,
clearly won that. You clearly won that
yeah.
fight. Like,
Yeah. Me and the boys at the gym, we all have a laugh at that split decision. It's like because I think one judge gave all the rounds to me, another judge gave four of the rounds, and the other one gave him one or like one more round than me or something like that. It just
yeah,
came out of the blue. But yeah, no, like I don't like striking wise, like I dominated him. He obviously used what he could wrestling wise, but he couldn't hold me down. He couldn't control me. Um, and yeah, that's what a lot of people have trouble doing to me. People underestimate that about me.
yeah, and obviously, you do train. You do some cross training with Whitaker. I've seen your story with Izzy Fitawatu.
Yep.
I probably butchered that. Malcoon, like with all these guys, like they're great wrestlers and anti wrestlers. So
Yeah, and these boys struggle to hold me down. Like we do a lot of sparring with that Krazy affiliated gym because it's just around the corner from our one. We do a lot of work with them, so they are like the top sparring partners for that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, like, and obviously Whitaker's just coming off a win. Your teammate Lachlan Stitt's coming off a win, so it's been a good,
Yeah, yeah.
good time for all them guys. Coming off all back-to-back wins.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. We want Lockie to hold the North Coast belt, and I'm going to take the South Coast belt. So it's going to be a bit of a bit of a choice for out of bait soon when I take this belt and he's got that belt. So who's he going to fight?
Yeah, that it would be crazy. Lachlan goes sleeps, and then maybe he comes back to Hex, and you sleep, and then you two could have a laugh about it.
Then next thing you know, me and Lachlan are fighting. Nah.
Oh, there's definitely people out there pushing for it, but obviously, yeah, you two are
uh,
pretty close, right?
our coaches wouldn't let it happen anyway. We
Yeah,
we punch on every day as it is. So
yeah, definitely. How did you feel about his performance against Vake?
unreal performance. He deserves that belt. Like honestly, mate, Lachlan's got a gift. Like he's very technical. He's very switched on. And he took a loss, and I told him because after that fight, I was like, this loss is probably the best thing for you. You won't realize like how good of a fighter you'll come back, and then look at that. He's taken two belts now as a pro. So
Yeah, definitely. Obviously as a teammate, were you a bit frustrated that he would drop Vake and then sort of like not finish him, or was that a part of his game plan to get a bit more like time as a pro? You reckon?
I think he just learnt from his last fight. To tell you the
Yeah,
truth, because when he fought and he lost, he rushed in a lot. Like especially when he hit him and he rushed in and it caused him to lose. So I think he just learnt from it, and instead of rushing it, he just went with it.
Yeah, definitely. It was very impressive to see him take down the Olympic wrestler or Commonwealth wrestler, whatever Vake was. Like immediately took him down. I thought that was pretty cool. Like
Yeah,
I
well,
never in a million years would have expected him to shoot the takedown.
yeah, well, like Lachlan did that camp over in Thailand. He done Tiger. He was out for pretty much 80% of it. But yeah, his wrestling is ridiculous. He's so strong too. Like I have trouble getting away from him sometimes. He's so strong. His grappling is like through the roof. In a grappling fight, he'd maul me. But when it comes to MMA, like he's getting there. He's really good, and I'm so excited for next year and the years after with his career as a pro.
Definitely. Have you done any training in Thailand with those same guys? Like I know he's Tiger Muay Thai affiliated, but have you trained like in Thailand at any point?
Yeah. We've spent a couple of weeks over there as a camp. We've gone over there and done a few like mini camps, like a couple of weeks and all that over there. Yeah, it's unreal. Like it's training with the best, so it's good. But I like being home. Like I like training. I like training in my gym. I like training, with the other local gyms around here because they have just as much to offer too.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, now you've got the dad life as well. Because I think
Yeah.
when you had your daughter after the Luciano fight, right?
Yes.
So the
Yeah, I had my
mythical
daughter.
fighter.
Yeah, a couple months before, 4 months before Luciano fight.
So we're going to see the mythical fighter dad Rideout now.
Oh,
Crazy.
100%, 100%. Nothing motivates me more than her.
Yeah, because do you remember when Cowboy Cerrone had his son and he went on that crazy streak afterwards? I could
Yeah,
see something similar like that happening. Like it just
yeah,
seems like a
man.
good motivator.
Well, I'm going hard. Like it's sort of good too. Like bringing back up on the Giuseppe, seeing him in the UFC. Like it just shows the level that I'm at. Like I had so many people message me saying, "You beat this guy. This is the level you are." So I'm the main thing. I'm looking forward to just coming back and showing that level, showing people what they've been missing out on for the last 18 months.
I'm like, obviously, I'm a journalist. I'm meant to be unbiased, but watching that Luciano fight, man, I was like, that is such a fucking good performance. Like, I was like, this guy's UFC ready right now. Obviously, you had the injury that happened, but like, it was crazy to see that. That was generally a great performance, and that shows your level, man. I think you're gonna go on to do great things.
Yeah, and you know what? Kit Campbell's. This is going to be the good fight, man. Honestly, like I cannot wait for this fight. Like I think I even commented on a turn. I'm like, be ready because this is going to be a bloodbath.
How do you see the fight going?
Oh, mate, tell you the truth, a lot of people predict like knockouts and this and that. I see myself the end of the fourth round finishing, and I'm standing there staring at Kit Campbell about to start the fifth round. He's split, I'm split, we're both hurt, and we're nodding at each other, going, "One of this round, one of us is going down." So that's how I see this fight going. Or if one of us don't go down, it's gonna definitely go in the distance.
Fuck, you got to be fucking pumped for this fight, man. Like generally, that card's looking great as well. Obviously, Wilbraham is versus Mangos just got announced, but I think your fight's probably gonna get fight of the night, man. Like it's hard though. Wilbraham's very similar as well. Have you watched much of Jared Wilbraham?
Yeah. So he's from freestyle too. He trains with one of my mates down there, Lockjaw. So yeah,
Yeah,
I've watched some of his performances and all that. He's a gun. Like he goes hard.
yeah. Thinking about it, it's gonna be pretty hard for whoever gets like the fight of the night. Thinking about it, because he's very similar to you. He's got that wild man style, good takedown defense. Like, yeah,
I guess only time will tell.
yeah. Just trying to give you some extra motivation to go even harder. Not that you need any more motivation.
Oh mate, but my motivation's set. I know what I'm in for, and I'm just preparing for it. And I hope Kit knows what he's in for, because I want him to prepare for it. Because I want 100% performance from both of us.
Fuck, I love when fighters say that. It's always the best when fighters say that because you just know, like. you know that they mean it. You talked about being a mate of Lockjaw. Did you train it? Because I remember he trained. Did he train at Triple X or did he train somewhere else where you two met?
No, I met him at freestyle. I met him. We I don't really go down the freestyle that much and train down there. Probably maybe 3 or 4 times in my career. But me and Lockjaw, every time there's a fight's on, like we always see each other and we're always cuddling and laughing. So like he's just a good mate.
Yeah, no, he's a beast. He'll bounce back as well, obviously after his last
Oh
fight.
yeah. It was unfortunate for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing his return too.
Yeah, I think we're going to see an even more motivated Justin Van Heerden, which is a pretty scary prospect to think about.
Yeah, and he's scary.
Definitely, man. Like subbed Alavi back in the day. Like that was a pretty crazy win. Alavi was he was like Dana White Contender Series bound at one point as well.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere too, man. Like he just got him.
Yeah, that actually, because I know Alavi was like ATT at one point. Did you ever train at ATT? Because I didn't notice your record. You fought a lot at Urban Fight Night, which is obviously the ATT Fight Nights.
Yeah, I still train at ATT to this day. ATT is very convenient for me. It's only like 10-15 minutes from my work, so I do a lot of MMA. Like they've got a really good fight team down there, and yeah, like I said, like Urban Fight Night, that was like the grassroots of my career. Like that was always a good show, always packed out. It honestly felt like mini UFC, Urban Fight Night. Especially for me as an amateur, I used to love it. And always good matchups, which is the main point. And yeah, it was good. It was good. I have some of the best memories at Urban Fight Night.
What's your favorite memory if you can remember off the top of your head?
Oh God! Do you know what? I think it'd probably be me my first ever win. Because I lost my first amateur. I went believe it or not, the 3 rounds with a freestyle fighter. His name was Chris Tuckley, and he beat me on points at the end. And then I remember turning to my coach and going, give me a fight tomorrow. I want to go back in. I was instantly hooked. And then I ended up fighting Anderson Chan. Urban Fight Night done the Fight of Nations, which was hectic. We all got from Australia, or he was China. Like everyone got their own nation on shirt, and I finished him in the second round. I knocked him down and just worked him until the stoppage, and just my first win. That moment, I've just been chasing that high.
Yeah, I always think about the fighter high. Like I've spoken to a lot of fighters, and they're like, once you have that first win, you're never gonna quit. Like you can deny it all you want, but you're not gonna quit. Like
yeah, I had that high when I lost. Yeah, but yeah, it's Urban Fight. It was good. Like another good fight there. I had a 5 round war with a guy named Isaac Hogan, and for the belt, for the actual amateur lightweight belt back then, and that was an absolute war. And I ended up winning, and we actually were, believe it or not, we're training partners these days. And yeah, he's at my gym now, and yeah, he's loving it.
yeah, he's is he a welterweight or a middleweight now? Because he's a big
He,
guy as well.
Yeah, he's got a fight. He's fighting. It just got announced on Super Fight in July. Yeah, he's
Jeffrey,
middle.
right? Mill.
Yeah. So that is going to be an entertaining fight. If you're free, definitely watch that one, because that one has fight of the night potential too.
Oh no, definitely. I'm gonna definitely watch that card because there's some good fights on there, man. It's an underrated promotion. I feel like.
Yeah. Super Fight was good too. I had my first pro fight there. Yeah, pro fight there.
Yeah. What was the favorite promotion you fought for so far? Would it be Urban?
No, it wouldn't be Urban. I don't know. See, they were good back when when I was in my amateur days, but Eternal and Hex, they're top tier. Those two promotions, it's hard to pick between those two. Like that night when I won the belt against Gisette was incredible. Like the feeling, the crowd, everything. Like everything leading up. Eternal was, it was unreal. And then, my last fight down at Hex was against, I think, David Thomas, and the fans booing me and all that because it was his home ground, and me getting that amazing spinning back elbow knockout, silencing the crowd like that. Yeah, incredible moments. So I can't really pick between the two. Sorry.
Nah, that's good. Don't burn any bridges. Do you prefer to be the crowd favorite, or do you prefer to silence the crowd? What's your preferred, or just a bit of both?
No. I always have a laugh at this. I talk to my fiance about this all the time. I love when like they pick the color of what I'm going to be, either blue or red, because I always feel like when I'm red, I'm bad. Like I'm bad. when I'm blue, I'm the good guy. I don't know. It's a bit of a nerdy thing for me, I guess. But man, I love shutting up a crowd. Like I love being heckled walking out. Like when I walked out against David Thomas, it was incredible. The fans were heckling me. They were into me. I was actually into him on the way back, and then when I dropped him and they all went silent, I was up on that cage. I felt like a king. But then again, fighting on my home ground, like when everyone's cheering me out, I love it. I love that feeling too. But I think I get more motivation for when they hate me. So whatever comes.
Honestly, I'd love to see you fight in Brazil. I'd love to see you versus Brazil in Brazil. I feel like
Why?
that'd be a
What are you
great
trying to
fight.
say?
I'm not trying to get you killed. Let's just get that out. I'm not trying to get you
Uh,
killed by the crowd, but I reckon it'd be awesome to see you because you just seem like you seem like a type of guy who would really like make the moment but count. If you went to Brazil, I feel like you'd be flipping the crowd off probably after the fight. You'd probably have some high energy afterwards because you know how those Brazilian crowds can be.
yeah, no, definitely. It depends how they are to me. If they're good to me, I'll be good to them. But if they're bad to me, I'll give them shit.
Do you have like a dream place to fight against like a dream? This I'm trying to word this question without sounding like xenophobic. It's like, would you have a dream opponent from like a country to fight them in their own home country? You know, obviously.
Oh, don't know. Hey, like I just want to fight. I just want to fight in the UFC. I don't care who it is. Um, and more importantly, I want to fight for the UFC belt. Like that's my end goal. So any opponent, any home country, I don't care for that belt, mate. I'm putting on a show.
I do remember you putting out a post like, or it might have been in an interview. You talked about how you wanted to fight JDM for the welterweight belt. Two Aussies fighting for the belt. I thought that was fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that was funny. I actually messaged him and said, I said something similar to that, and he's like, yeah, we'll meet in the cage one day, and we had a laugh, so it was good.
Yeah, and like, look how close he is. He's a top five welterweight now, man. Like, it just shows how high level the welterweight scene is in Australia in general. Like, you're the successor to him, man, for the belt. You're the next welterweight champion after him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the rain was cut a little bit shorter than I expected, but yeah, no, I'll be following his breadcrumbs to maybe one day me and him will see each other. But until then, I just got to focus on what's now.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever like trained at Scrappy or anything like that? Obviously, I know you're in New South Wales, so it's a bit of a trek. But you trained any West Australian gyms or anything like that?
No, I've never been to Western Australia, so I was sort of looking forward to that out of Bates fight that I was supposed to happen. But yeah, no, mate, I'd happily go out there. I know I'd be welcome with open arms.
Oh, we'd welcome you. I'm from WA. You would definitely welcome you out here.
I feel like I'd fit in.
Nah, you would, man. You would. To be honest, there's not a whole fucking lot to do out here, if I'm going to be honest with you, but you'd find something to be entertained with.
I'd be all right.
Yeah, to be fair, all there is to do here is scrap, which is why I think we have so many good fighters coming out of WA at the moment, man. I think all there is to do here is either do meth or scrap. So you got to choose one of the two.
Except for Adam Bates, he's not a good fighter. I'm
Oh man, how disappointed were you when you couldn't get that fight? Because I feel like that was a fight that would have been like a blood and guts war, like you say you want.
Mate, I was that fight not only physically took a toll on my like ankle wise, like when I was training, and I heard it. The mental toll that took on me from having to pull from that fight was I can't. I went to like a state of like depression. You know, I mean, like I've never pulled from a fight. Never. I've turned up the fight no matter what. Um, you know, like, but I knew if I physically couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. Like my ankle, every time I do it, it just wouldn't. It just set me back further and further. Um, so yeah, it did take a massive toll on me, and I was very distraught after that. But you know, I took a bit of time of it, and I did what I needed to do, and yep, now I'm back. So
Yeah, definitely. And how did you watch Bates versus Mikhailov?
yeah, I did. He's there's a lot that I took from that fight, but you know, there's a few holes in his game that I felt like I could very like I can exploit. So you know, only time will tell. I'll get this belt and you know see what happens.
Yeah, and then alternatively, I'm going to ask another question. Did you catch Mikhailov versus Luciano?
Yeah, I watched that one too. I was shocked. I didn't know what happened. I thought Luciano would have had that one in the bag. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just like to think that he maybe have underestimated him, like you know, because he had like a not like a short record too back then. And you know, the underdog just took over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that was a shock for most of Australia at the time
Mm,
because Luciano, I'd heard Luciano was like a fight away from the UFC, so that was pretty rough for him to lose
yeah,
that fight.
yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a shock for him, but I think he's fought again. I don't know who he fought though. I never heard of him.
it was some
Yeah,
Vietnamese or Filipino guy. He was like 7-0, but even Damian Brown said like it was a bit of a mismatch how the fight turned out because that guy had no grappling defense at all. The guy he fought because like Luciano just immediately squished him. Like it was like a squash
yeah.
match.
So that's what I mean. Like when there was names thrown around about who I'm going to come back and fight, I didn't want that. I want a challenge. I've always wanted challenge fights. Like just to see where I'm at. So yeah, Kid
Yeah,
Campbell
exactly.
challenge. Yes,
Definitely a big challenge. Big guy as well.
yes,
Trains trains at a good gym as well. I think he's very close with Jake Matthews as well. I believe.
yeah, yep. I think they're all familiar. Like they're all familiar down there. They all train with each other. So you know, it's just going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table in this fight coming up. Um, whether he wants to stand with me and try and finish me, or if he wants to just plain dogfight. Or either way, I'm going to be ready for whatever he throws at me.
And also, I believe he's got a fight booked before the fight because I believe he's fighting for Rogue. Uh,
Oh
yeah, did you know about that?
no, this is news to me.
Yeah, so I believe he's scheduled to fight in July on Rogue, which is
Oh,
in like Guam or something like that. It's the Absolutes like fight promotion. Yeah, I believe he's booked a fight on there. I don't know if the fight's still going ahead or not, but he's apparently going to have a fight on that card before.
oh, there you go, there you go. So that'll be an interesting to watch.
Yeah,
I might book in a fight before. Fuck this. Fuck this waiting.
should book a front row seat. Fucking do an in cage fucking stare down with him. I reckon.
And then I'll be cheering for him the whole fight. Go Kit, go Kit.
Don't get fucking knocked out. We need this fucking fight to happen, kid.
Don't hurt yourself. Australia wants to see this one.
Yeah, I always think it's always dangerous to double book. Obviously, Justin, had the whole Abdallah situation where Abdallah Baeda was booked against a Muay Thai fight before their fight, and he got knocked out. So, hopefully, that'll not be an ideal situation. Touch wood. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think at one stage, I think in 2021, I booked 3 fights in the first 6 months of the year or something. I did one in February, April, and then June. So I
Yeah.
booked it all in. I think I booked it all in February, I think.
Fucking hell. Yeah, but that's why they call you the crazy horse, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Who even gave you that nickname, the crazy horse?
My coach did Zane Saliba. He was in the UFC house. He come up with it because of Charles Bennett. He also apparently had a lot of similarities to him and bit loose like that. And then yeah, just stuck and then just went from there. That's actually I got the name Crazy Horse after that my second amateur fight, and then it just stuck from there and continued.
You know, honestly, now that you say it, I can see the similarities. Obviously, not physically. You know, you're white, he's black, but like fight wise.
Yeah, no, we're not twins.
But fight wise, he's a crazy fighter and just a crazy personality as well. I feel like.
Yeah. He's nuts. He's watching all these old fights. He just does anything and everything, and I think that's how pretty much I fight. I do anything and everything I can to win.
Bro, the one thing I love about your fight style is that I've never seen anybody ever do before is the fire punches. I've never seen the leg punches or the punches you do. That I've never seen anybody else in my life.
Yeah, I sort of, I don't know if I did, I come up with that. So like in the at Triple X, we have like a light moving class and all that, which I like to jump into because it's where I get to practice stuff, like see what actually works and what doesn't work, and it's not intense, hard sparring. Um, and all the beginners they kept doing something. I don't know what they were doing. They weren't working. They're doing bad footwork or something. And so I said, I'm going to make your life hell. And I started punching them in the legs, like, and they were like, "What the hell?" And I kept doing that for like I think 2 or 3 weeks, and then a lot of the boys weren't showing up because their legs was corked from me hitting them in the legs. And I was like, "So that works?" And they're like, "Yeah, it corks your leg and hurts." And we used to do that back in high school. We used to cork each other's legs. So I was like, you know what? I might start adding this to my game. And then, sure enough, I was like, here I am. And
Well, it
I
might be
reckon
the
it
next.
looks cool too.
Well, it might be the next big thing, to be honest. Is like Connor with the shoulder elbows, what he did on Cerrone. There was the calf kicks. You know, that became the big thing. I reckon you could see that becoming the next big thing, and you can make claim to being the originator of that because I've generally never seen that before by anyone.
Yeah, I think I done it. I done it once to Robert Whitaker in sparring, and I hit him in the leg like that. And after he's like, "Can you stop doing that?" He did, and I was like, "Oh, you think?" And he's like, "Yeah, stop doing it." And I was like, "Oh, nah, I like it." I like it. It's like a bit of a mental warfare game for me because it's like I can get that close to you, hit you, and get away from you. So yeah, I like it. And I do another sort of thing too is um I kick out the calf. I did it a lot in the Luciano fight, when they're pinned up against the cage. I not the Luciano fight, sorry, the Gisette fight. When you pin them up against the cage, kick out the calf too. That I haven't seen many people do. So I just added it to one day, and here I am.
Yeah, you do a lot of stuff that a lot of people like. There's a bit of Kevin Holland as well. Obviously, with the Giuseppe fight, you were talking to Eugene Behrman the whole time when he was taken down. That went like semi-viral. That was a pretty good clip.
Yeah. I still can't believe that happened. Really, I just thought it was funny that I landed right there and he was there and I could see him and I was like, I'm just gonna have a laugh here.
And you got your photo as well, so that's always nice.
Yeah. That was funny when I went up to him. So I'm like, oh yeah, it was a good fight. Oh, anyway, how about that photo?
Would you ever do some cross training at CKB?
No, it depends if Eugene lets me in the door. Look, I mean, I keep all options open. You know, what I mean, I love. There's nothing better. I love going out and getting new techniques, new experiences from other people. Um, because everyone's got something to offer. So, I don't know if opportunity ever presented itself where I was allowed to walk through that front door. I wouldn't say no. I'd be mad not to.
I love the way you word that if you're allowed through the front door. Like there's a fucking like bunch of photos of the people. There's like Alex Bahia and then there's Kaleb Rideout who aren't allowed on history TV.
Yeah. Don't let this dickhead in.
Because I know Eugene didn't like Izzy at first when they first started training there. He actually thought Izzy was a dickhead. So, maybe this is the beginning of something great.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. It'd be good to do a few rounds out there, but, once again, only time will tell.
Do you have like a favorite Robert Whitaker story?
Uh, he fucking hates my hair. If I ever spar him, I've had to start like putting it in braiding it up before I spar him because he just gets a mouthful of it, and he fucking hates it. He spits hair out after the end of it. And I remember one saying, he's like, "Can you just braid that shit up, please?"
Because when was the first time you trained with Rob?
Oh, oh God. So we Triple X, my gym, Triple X and Gracie have always been really well affiliated. Obviously with my head coach Nathan Reddy, when he was fighting back in the day, he used to do a lot of training with the Gracie team, and we used to just tag along. So we did a little bit here and there, but I was never. I want to like I was still an amateur then. Like I wasn't good enough. He's not going to waste his time and train with someone like me like that. And then when I started getting pro, when I was pro and he come down and obviously got better. He moved around with Lachlan and I, and ever since then, that probably was about 4 years ago now, Lachlan and I, he liked the way we moved. Well, I assume, and Alex, his coach, liked the way we moved. So, and then we started getting regular phone calls to spar him. And then just whenever they wanted us, we'd rock up, and that's how it's pretty much worked.
Yeah, I guess that's always good praise though to get from a former UFC champion. He likes the way you move.
Yeah. I mean, I like moving. I like to to give it 100%. You know what I mean? Like he's a world champion. Like the only way I'm going to get better is if I give it my all. And yeah, I've learned a lot of things from him. Like just like I know a few things he does. I've kept it in here, and I've developed it myself into my own style. So yeah, it's been good. It's unreal, really. I'm moving with a world champion, and he wants to move with me, which is good. And then like not only him, like Izzy today, like I moved with Izzy today. Jacob, like all these other fighters, like they got even Izzy's brother Sione, like they love working with us, so it's good.
Do you have like a favorite of the three to work with out of Izzy, Jacob, and Rob?
They all have their bests about them, but it's always Rob. It's always going to be Rob. He's an ex-world champion, probably on his way up now to be probably a world champion again. Like, and to be in the same gym with him is unreal. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Did you watch his fight live against Ikram?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it, mate. It just came out of nowhere. Like, it honestly, he looked so good. He looked like he was 21 again. It was unreal.
I think that's the best he looked, maybe his whole career, to be honest. Like that generally was such a great performance.
Yeah. It was absolutely unreal, and I'm so keen to see what's next.
Yeah, I want to. Hopefully, it's him versus Strickland. I know Strickland turned it down, but I'd love to see that fight. I think it makes all the sense.
Yeah, Strickland would be good. Even I'd love to see the Hamzat fight. Like that'd be incredible to watch too. I was so excited for that fight when I got canned. I was like, "Fuck!" Is the best way to explain it.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. Yeah, that was heartbreaking to be honest. Because yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing how his wrestling would match up against Hamzat. Obviously, with Rob having some of the best takedown defense in the sport.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I just love to see him get Rob to absolutely smash him. So would have been good.
Do you have like a? Would you ever like to fight? Well, obviously, you'd like to fight anyone. But would you ever like to fight like one of those Dagestani Chechen guys, just to test yourself against one of those wrestlers?
Yeah, of course, of course. I'd love anyone with how do I say anyone that's just like gonna put up that challenge or that fight, like to better myself, to see where I'm at in this world, in this crazy world of fighting. Like I want that. Like I don't care who it is, put me in the cage. I don't even have to be at my weight. Like I'll fight someone at heavyweight. I don't give a shit. A fight's a fight. You know what I mean? Like I love it. So as long as it's going to test me, I'm in.
What would be your dream fight? Just anyone you can give, any single fighter, past or active, not active, retired, whatever. Who would it be?
I'd like to fight John Jones just to
Fuck.
watch me get obliterated. No, man, I love John Jones' style, and he's the best fighter that ever exists. So that would answer your question 100%. I'd love to share a cage with him, but that would never happen because he's about 400 kilos too heavier than me.
Hey, they're gonna bring back open weight. I reckon you could do it in
Yeah,
Ryzen or Japan or something.
yeah, man. I've always thought about that. Like they should do an once like a Kumite style thing once every like 2-3 years or some shit. They should do like a open weight tournament that you can just enter in the if you're at UFC level or Bellator or whatever level, one championship, and it's just a knockout over a year, and the winner of that gets a ridiculous amount of money and the best fighter ever. I thought it'd be insane.
You really are fucking crazy, aren't you?
Yeah, everyone says that. Everyone reckons I switch. I'm like this nice guy like now, but like as soon as I need to, I just switch. So
Bro, that's fucking crazy though to hear like a fighter say that. Yeah, you might be a welterweight who doesn't even cut weight, but yeah, fuck it, give me some even more heavier guys.
yeah, like this doesn't bother me, man. Like I like Rob's massive. I spar him. And he cuts 84 kilos, but he's not 84 kilos 24/7. Like a lot of my sparring partners are big boys. Like, and I love moving around with them. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Did you have any street fights before you got into martial arts, or even when you got martial arts? Like, what was actually
No,
your introduction into martial arts?
no comment. Nah. No, I got introduced in the martial arts. So I was a really good footballer player. Like, I used to play lock. Um, and in the off season of football, I was training mixed martial arts, and like the day I got my license, like 17, I drove to an MMA gym, signed up, training to get ready in the off season of football, and I loved it. Like I felt like this was insane. The training, I love the training, the constant testing yourself, and I went back to football in the trial games, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't love it as much as I loved what I was doing. And then, yeah, I told my coach, I was like, "Sorry, man, you've been coaching me for 10 years now, and this is I just have the passion for this. I want to fight." And then, I had a few inner club tournaments and that, and I was hooked. I wasn't leaving then.
Do you still watch footy though, or just completely MMA now?
Oh, I'm completely MMA. I still watch it here and there with my mates. So my mates are always like into it. But yeah, I just love MMA now. Like I'm obsessed with it. So
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite fighter to watch besides yourself?
well, local or like favorite fighter in the USA?
Let's go both. We'll get both out of it.
Well, believe it or not, it was Kid Campbell. Like I used to love watching Kid Campbell, especially when I was younger. He was insane. Another local would No, Lockjaw was always good. Even Josh Coon up in Queensland. He loves a good bang. Kamikaze. He loves a good bang.
Him versus Dim is one of the best fights of all time, and I'll stand by that.
Yeah, well, I want to top that, so I want that status. That's what I'm aiming for. So, but yeah, there's no denying that was an insane fight. And then UFC wise, yeah, Whittaker obviously. Like I love watching Whittaker. Anytime John Jones is there, I'm hooked on. Like I've watched him. He's been one of my favorite fighters ever. And Chael, back in the day, I used to love Chael.
Did you watch Chael's boxing match the other week?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he boxed Anderson Silva.
Oh, mate, as soon as I'm off this, I'm gonna go fucking look that up.
Oh, not gonna lie, it was like a bit of a touch sparring match, but it was still just good to see Chael throwing hands against the leg of Silva.
No, back in the day, man, he's insane. He makes you. I always like to think back to what if Chael won the belt that day against Buddy Silva.
Oh, I always wish he did. He would have been a great champ.
Oh, it would have been insane. I would have loved it.
Oh, awesome, man. I actually have contact with Chael. I should send him some of your fights when you fight Kit Campbell. I should send him the highlights.
Yeah, definitely.
So just before we go, is there anyone you want to shout out? Any sponsors, anything like that, man?
No, shout out all everyone down at Triple X and all that for helping me out, getting me ready for this upcoming fight. Man, tune in to watch it. If you miss it live, you're gonna regret it because it's gonna be the fight. I'm telling you, this is gonna be the fight Australian MMA is looking forward to.
If you miss it, it's gonna feel like Kaleb punching you in the fucking leg. So you make sure.
Yeah, watch it, or I'm gonna come to your house and punch you in the leg.
Well, thank you so much for the interview, man. Thank you so much for your time, and it was good to talk to you. And I can't wait to catch your fight against Kit Campbell.
We'll have a chat after when I got the belt.
Nah, definitely, yeah. I got to see the fucking shiny Hex belt. You got to compare the Eternal and the Hex if you still got both. If you still got the Eternal belt.
Oh man, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, can I have a look at it before you go?
I keep it right next to my my other prized possession, my PlayStation 5. There you go.
Fuck, that is a beautiful belt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Was a good one, but the Hex one's going to look even better. at least that one will be current.
Exactly. Do you say it's next to your prized possession, your PS5?
My PS5.
Fuck yeah, I got a PS5 as well. What games do you play?
Mate, I've been pumping the Elden Ring craze at the moment, and I've just been raging every 5 minutes.
Well, one day you'll probably get to play UFC fucking 6 or 7, and you'll be in that. So that'll be pretty cool. That'll be a pretty cool moment.
I'd love to whip my own character. I'd beat the shit out of it. That's actually the only reason why I'm in this the fight game is because I just want to beat the shit out of myself on a video game.
Best motivation in the world. Mate.
Yeah.
No, but awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you after your fight. Can't wait to see it. You'll probably be battered and bruised when I talk to you, but so will Kit Campbell.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping for it. Nah, pleasure, bro. Honestly.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Peace. Yeah, awesome. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see all you guys next time. Peace.